I was one missed payment away from losing everything. My landlord had already given me the final notice. I remember sitting on my couch that night, staring at the empty walls, wondering what mistake had led me here. Then the next morning, I checked my bank app and saw something impossible. My rent. Paid. Not just that month, 3 months in advance. There was no sender name, no transaction note, just the words, payment received. I should have been relieved, but deep down, something didn't feel right. Because hours later, I got a message from an unknown number that said, "You owe me everything now." Before I tell you what happened next, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because this isn't just a story about mystery. It's about how kindness can turn into control, and how revenge sometimes begins with a single text. My name is Sophie Turner, and 6 months ago, I was drowning in bills. After losing my job at a publishing firm, I was trying to survive on freelance work that barely covered groceries. I didn't tell anyone how bad things had gotten, not even my best friend Hannah. So when someone suddenly paid my rent, it didn't make sense. At first, I convinced myself it was a system glitch. Maybe my old company sent severance late. But then that text came again the next night. "You should thank me, Sophie. I saved you." The number wasn't saved in my contacts. I texted back, "Who is this?" No response. That silence made it worse. Every time my phone buzzed after that, I jumped. A few days later, another message arrived. "Meet me at the place where you used to feel safe." I had no idea what that meant, but the words felt personal. Used to feel safe. I racked my brain, and one memory came up. The small cafe near my university where I used to study for hours. It had closed down years ago, but maybe whoever this was knew me from back then. So, the next morning, I went there. The cafe was now a bookstore, quiet and cozy, with soft jazz playing in the background. I ordered a coffee and sat by the window, pretending to read. 10 minutes passed. Then I saw a man outside, tall, wearing a long, dark coat. He was just standing there, staring through the glass. Our eyes met for a second, and he smiled faintly before walking away. Then my phone buzzed. "You look better than I remembered." My heart nearly stopped. Whoever he was, he'd been watching me. I rushed outside, but he was gone, just like that. That night, I went to Hannah's place and told her everything. She laughed it off at first, saying maybe it was an admirer. But when she saw the messages, her face changed. "This is serious, Sophie. You need to tell the police." I agreed, but before I could file a report, I got another text. "Don't ruin what we have. You needed help. I gave it to you. Now it's my turn." I didn't reply. I blocked the number. The next morning, another message came. Different number, same words. "You can't block what you owe." That was the moment I realized this wasn't random. Someone had access to my information, my address, my life. I started looking for clues, checked my online accounts, banking records, emails. Everything looked normal except for one thing. 2 weeks before my rent was paid, I'd applied for a side job online. The ad looked legitimate. Work from home data entry assistant. I'd filled in my details, sent my resume, and never heard back. Now I knew. That's where it started. I dug into the email ID linked to the ad and traced it through a digital lookup site. The name that popped up made my blood run cold. Liam Archer. My ex-boss. He'd been my supervisor at the publishing firm, charming at first, but manipulative beneath the surface. When I finally stood up to him about unfair treatment, he made my life miserable until I quit. And now, it seemed he'd found another way to control me. I called my Hannah and told her everything. She was furious. "We're not letting him get away with this. You need to gather proof." So I started documenting everything: screenshots, payment receipts, messages. Then I sent him a message from a new number. "What exactly do I owe you?" He replied instantly, "Loyalty." I typed back, "You lost that years ago." Then he sent a photo that made my hands tremble. A picture of me from 2 days ago inside my apartment sitting on my couch. He was watching me again. That night, I didn't sleep. Every sound, every flicker of light outside my window made my chest tighten. But instead of breaking down, I decided to fight back. The next morning, I called a friend of mine who worked in IT security. I told him everything. Within hours, he traced Liam's messages not just to his phone, but to a hidden tracking system that had been linked to a smart device in my apartment, the camera on my TV. He'd been accessing it remotely, watching me through my own screen. We reported it immediately. My friend helped me disable the connection and backtrack the data to prove he'd been violating privacy laws. But I wanted more than just police involvement. I wanted him to feel the same fear he had caused me. So, with my friend's help, we set a trap. I sent Liam a message from my blocked number. "I know what you did. Meet me at the bookstore tonight if you want your files back." He took the bait. When he arrived, police officers were already waiting, quietly stationed inside, disguised as customers. I sat in the corner pretending to read. The moment he walked in, his eyes found mine, and then the officer stepped forward. He didn't resist, just stared at me and said, almost calmly, "You'll always owe me for what I gave you." I looked him straight in the eye and said, "You gave me fear. I'm just returning it." The investigation that followed uncovered everything: the fake job posting, the bank transfer, the hidden surveillance. He was charged with multiple offenses. As for me, I moved to a new city, got a new apartment, and started over. Sometimes I still wake up thinking about that message. You owe me everything now. But now I read it differently. I owe myself everything. For surviving it, for fighting back, and for not letting someone else own my peace ever again.